Good day and happy Wednesday. It's Derek with Cherry Blossom CBD. We're back for another episode of What the Hemp Wednesday. So today we're bringing, as you know, we bring you hemp news from around the country and around the world. And today we're going to kind of go around the world a little bit, but there are ties to North America and the United States. So we'll start with Bath Fiber Technologies. They're a Canadian company that makes natural non-woven fibers. They bought a North Carolina plant from Georgia Pacific. They're a pulp and paper giant. And I'm assuming they're from Georgia. But Bass Fiber Technology says it plans to expand the Lumberton, North Carolina cellulose factory for making wood pulp derived hygienic products such as tissue, toilet paper, things like that, for making similar items out of hemp and flax. Interesting. Purchase price is not disclosed. Bass Fiber Technologies has been working with Georgia Pacific for quite some time. They had a license. They licensed a suite of patents related to bass fibers and a variety of non-woven products and processes from Georgia Pacific a few years back. BFT. Bass fiber comes from the inner bark of the hemp, and it's sort of like the pulp of a tree, of like a wood plant. But inner bulk of hemp plants, also like hemp, flax, jute, and kanaf. I'm not sure exactly what kanaf is. To look that up, but since of course it's another plant. And non-woven fibers are made with fibers that are bonded with chemicals, solvents, or heat. So BSF is a Canadian company. BSF. All right, so let's get moving on. U.S. cannabis producer ships hemp seeds to Asia to kick off a U.S.-Thai alliance. So that's pretty cool. Las Vegas-based marijuana operator has sent his first shipment of hemp seeds to Asia as part of a new partnership with a Thai-based company. Audacious Brands out of Las Vegas is partnering with Golden Triangle Health, a subsidiary of the publicly traded NRF, to supply major consumer packaged goods and companies with white label products and branded products. According to Audacious, the company is the first American firm to ship hemp seeds for CBD production in Asia. According to Tom Kruspan, he is a co-founder of the Audacious brand, of Golden Triangle Health. Partnership with Audacious strengthens Golden Triangle's operational capacities in cannabis. We have many opportunities and are leveraging our network of international distribution contacts to execute rapidly in the Asia-Pacific cannabis market. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's pretty interesting. U.S. companies and North American companies are kind of reaching out. They've been reaching out to Europe and making alliances there with like beverages and other sorts of things, hair, skin products, all kinds of stuff. So it's becoming a global business. This is pretty cool. So the Constitutional Council of France ruled that CBD is not addictive or harmful, overturning a ban on the possession, use, and sale of CBD put in place in December. So France's Constitutional Council determined earlier this month that CBD is neither addictive nor has harmful health effects. The decision effectively overturns a government decree from December, which banned the possession, use, sale of CBD flowers or fibers in all forms on their own or mixed with other products. The ruling follows a similar decision in 2020 of the European Court of Justice, which determined that the French ban on CBD was unfounded since the cannabinoid has no psychotropic or mood-altering effects and no negative impact on health. And that ruling allowed CBD products to be sold throughout the EU. In France, CBD is estimated to have a potential market value of about 700 million euros. Separately, French lawmakers last week discussed Canadian cannabis legislation bill proposed by a hard-left group, French Unbowed Party, but the measure is not expected to have broad government support at all. In June 2021, a study or survey found that 51% of French citizens support cannabis legalization, the highest number since 1970. Side note, Malta became the first EU country to have cannabis legislation. That happened a little bit earlier this year. So, kind of tapping into something that happened last week. We talked about a study out of, I think it was a university, Oregon State University, that said that CBGA and CBDA could help kind of offset or prevent, may or may not, COVID-19. So now we're going to follow up with a separate story that synthetic CBD may protect patients from contracting COVID-19, says Canadian scientists. So researchers are saying that cannabinoids may protect human cells from COVID-19. That study was released this week from scientists in Ontario working with synthetic CBD. So researchers at the University of Waterloo reported that the synthetic CBD appears to prime the innate immune system of cells, potentially offering protection against pathogens such as SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. Now, let's move on. So here's what they have to say about how this happens. This is coupled with the study that we talked about just a few minutes ago, and this is giving more companies firepower because now this is not just anecdotal evidence anymore. And this is starting to have some sort of foundation in science, which is excellent. So synthetic CBD works by augmenting the antiviral response of cells to 3 key proteins produced by the SARS-CoV-2 genome. So according to Robin Duncan, the study's lead investigator and professor at the University of Waterloo's Department of Kinesiology and Health Services, says in a statement, when cells in the lungs or the digestive tract are infected with the virus, they have an ability to sense and respond even before the immune system notices the virus is present. Interesting, right? They do this by activating innate responses inside of cells, which is one of the first line of defense, okay? With a RNA-type virus like SARS-CoV-2, cells should activate an innate system that cuts up the viral genome, which also causes infected cells to undergo a process called apoptosis, a sort of controlled cell death, which gets rid of infected cells early on. I know this is kind of complicated, so I'm reading this kind of slow, okay? So when we combine CBD with these viral proteins, they had a much better ability to activate this system and to activate apoptosis. This is supported by evidence from a study of patients who use high-dose CBD, CBD-based pharmaceutical drug licensed in the U.S., Epidiolex, which we've talked about before, to treat rare types of epilepsy. A study then conducted by scientists from the University of Chicago with funding from the National Institutes of Health showed that patients taking prescription high-dose CBD had around a 10-fold lower risk of testing positive for COVID-19. Wow. The University of Chicago research was released by a peer review study in March of 2021. So that is super, super interesting. The more we are reading here, the more we're seeing, and the more it's coming up that certain cannabinoids can really help offset you contracting COVID-19. And I'm not saying that as a fact, that's just saying that this is the information that has been coming out. So as we're going to follow that as we get closer and closer to some real solid truth. So that's it for us today. I think that's enough. That's enough for you to digest. But so I went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but thank you all for watching. Please share with anyone you think that might benefit from this or have interest. Thank you all for watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, of course. And we'll talk to you in a couple days. Thank you.